On June 23, 2016, heavy thunderstorms brought torrential rain across the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia, resulting in rain accumulations of up to 10 inches in the span of 24 hours.
At about 4 o'clock, as my nurse was leaving, I said, I'm going to have to watch the river because it's getting a little high. By 20 after 4, my daughter let out a scream, and when I looked out the window, it looked like a river actually coming over the guardrail, at the road, which has never happened before. It was terrifying.
Meteorologists at the National Weather Service called it a 1,000-year flood.
And then I come out here and looked, and it was already up to about this tree.
Natasha Jett, single mother of 3, lives on the banks of the Elk River near Clendenin, West Virginia. The Elk River crested at 33 feet. Natasha packed 8-year-old Wesley, 10-year-old Grace, and 14-year-old Nathan into the family minivan. Nathan is wheelchair-bound and has special needs.
He was born with spina bifida. He also has Arnold-Chiari, and he has hydrocephalus. He has 1 lung now, ventilated 24/7, 3 liters of oxygen. I've always worried about an emergency situation, how I would get him out of the home, because it's not anything quick. And then that day kind of hit, and I'd done it faster than I thought I'd be able to.
Natasha maneuvered the family van through floodwaters over 2 miles to a local grocery store, where they realized the entire town was underwater.
That's when the real panic kind of set in, and I knew, I'm gonna have to make this walk.
At around 10 p.m., Natasha leaves her children with strangers.
Give them a really quick rundown of what to do, if this alarm goes off or that.
And begins a 2.5-mile walk back to her house for oxygen tanks.
There were actual snakes in the water, just flood debris. But I thought, well, it'll be waist deep, not too bad. It hit my chin, and at that point I panicked because I can't swim. I had flip-flops on, so I started bouncing. The flood had washed a lot of his tanks off, so I had 2 M60s left, which weigh about 45 pounds. And I carried and dragged those back up the mountaintop because the water had come up so much you couldn't walk it. I had to actually try to drag those up the mountain, hanging on trees, trying to rotate out arms because I was getting tired. By the time I made it back to Save-A-Lot with him, I could barely walk. And he probably had about 20 minutes left of oxygen.
The 2 tanks only bought them 8 hours.
And then there's nothing else to do. There's no tanks left at home. So I had everyone, nursing company, friends, family, just blowing up 911. All of a sudden I got a phone call, and it was Dunbar Police, and they said, we're coming to get you. Stay where you are, it'll take us about an hour. We all heard them coming. There were about 20 of us trapped up there, and everyone was cheering. The hair on my arms was actually standing up, and I remember I just couldn't do anything but cry. It was actually hard to breathe. When I seen the guys get out of the helicopter, and I just knew he's gonna be okay. And it was really hard too, because I had to leave, I had to leave my 2 little ones back with complete strangers. It was either go with him or stay with them. So I think I made the best one now, but at the time it was really hard.
Only Natasha's struggle was far from over.
When I opened the door and the smell hit me, I realized we had just lost everything we have.
Anna Hardway of Save the Children, along with other local relief organizations, helped Natasha do just what she promised to do: go back home.
Not too long after the flood, we were needing things like a wheelchair and a hospital bed and things like that we had lost. And Anna contacted me and come out to meet us, and it just went from there. We had a lot of help.
From day one, when I met you, you were always like, we're going back to the house. So
yeah.
Like we were trying to build her a ramp at the temporary home, and we were trying to do that. And she was like, no, we're going back.
You kind of take things for granted too, and that flood really changed things like that, because I was always like, it's just a little house, no big deal. But now it's just, I love it. It might not be a whole lot, but
it was my fortress.
It was my, yes, my home.